Hey guys, welcome to Let's Talk Venture, the podcast dedicated to traveler, backpacker, and explorers with thousands of stories. My name is Tony, and today I'm talking with Rebecca, an American girl who's doing a solo trip through Europe. And for the first time, this episode will be divided in two parts, with the solo interview of Rebecca here and the second part as a random conversation once we get joined by John, another American guy also doing a solo trip. So here we go, let's talk venture with Rebecca.
So do you record it and then edit it later?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Good to know. Alright, Tony, what's up?
So what are you doing? So Rebecca.
Yeah.
Right. What are you doing in France?
Like I said, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
Right? So I have my summer break right now.
Okay.
So I'm doing a month in Europe. And I have 4 days left and the last of it's in France. So it's basically it, just traveling, to see places.
So you have 4 days left in France and then you are going
And then I'm going home. So
Really?
I'm 4 days left of my trip. Yeah. This is my 8th country.
8th?
Yeah.
Okay, how many, what country have you done?
So, I guess France was my first and my last because it started in Paris, right? Went to Belgium, flew over Germany into Prague, Czech Republic, Bratislava, Slovakia, Budapest, and then through Austria, Vienna, Salzburg, Switzerland. I spent 5 days in Switzerland. Lucerne, Interlaken. I can't say it, Lausanne. I butchered it. It's on Lake Geneva.
Okay.
And then Geneva.
Okay.
And then now we're here. And then tomorrow I go to Nîmes, then Avignon.
Avignon.
And then Avignon.
But it's okay. It's,
Thank you. And then I go back to Paris. I might do a day trip to Normandy, and then I go.
Normandy?
Normandy, yeah.
Normandy.
Yeah, from Paris.
Okay.
Normandy. Sorry, everything's English.
No, it's okay. So you have an amazing program. So it took you how long?
1 month.
1 month?
Yeah.
You did a lot of things in 1 month.
Yeah, I know. I have a Euro pass.
Okay.
So I got it on sale in December.
Yeah.
And so I'm not the kind of person that stays in one place for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, I experience it, and then I move on.
And so from all the places you have during 1 month, could you pick let's say 3 or 5 top that you felt really special?
Yeah, 3 or 5 is good.
Okay.
A favorite is too hard.
No, it's too hard.
Yeah, that's too
that.
hard.
Yeah.
Favorites though, 3 to 5. I love
special.
Okay, I loved Bruges, Belgium.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Walking around, I got
It's the city where you have a lot of river and a lot of lake. And it's
the
really,
old town is surrounded by a river, and then after that, it's all industrial. But
oh really?
yeah, so the river's old town. Everything else is very industrial.
Okay.
And it was beautiful. It was colorful. The people were very sweet. Food was delicious. The windmills were beautiful, and so I loved Bruges. Bruges was amazing. Budapest was really fun. I enjoyed that one. Lots of great nightlife and great day life. So met a lot of cool people.
Maybe a little bit difficult in the day life because of the nightlife, but.
Hey, yeah, it's a lot of late mornings, but that was really fun.
Yeah.
So met cool people. The big the big tourist spots, meh.
Yeah.
But once you get away from those and see the other parts of the town, it was really nice.
So you have a lot of underground culture there where you can meet a lot of people.
Yeah. So that's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's the same case also in Berlin. Berlin, because it used to be the city where you had the celebration during the World War,
the wall.
After war. So because of that, a lot of culture has been developed in underground because you had a lot of control, you had a lot of watchdog.
The secret police.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do what you wanted to do, you had to do it underground, in clubs or in developing stuff. And it's from Germany that they developed the punk culture because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. All right. Something good out of something sad. So, thank you for the history lesson. I love history, so that's awesome. Super cool. in this trip, I've learned so much about Europe. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, I'm fascinated with history, but in the U.S. schools, some teachers are amazing when they teach it, some are not. And like learning about the Holy Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, the Austrian Empire turning into the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and then like the fall of that empire with the fall of monarchies, and like then how like recent that was. While the USA was like already had their freedom, there was still a bunch of like monarchies happening over here, and like it's fascinating.
But also at the same time, it's really, really hard to catch up with all that happened.
Yeah.
In Europe, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you have so many different cultures, so many different countries at the same time who have their own rules, their own ruler. And
Yeah. It's been very difficult at times. I was in Munich and I went on a bike tour.
Yeah.
And I like, everyone was looking at stuff and I stopped the tour guide. I was like, dude, I need a timeline. Like I have all this information from Czech Republic, from like Paris, from Hungary. Like, okay, help me like understand where it all falls. So like that was really fun. So and I like World War II. I like Cold War. I like that kind of information, but I studied it so much that to get another side of European history was cool.
Like, I think it's always more interesting to have the point of view from the people who are there, even if they are not here anymore, but they're like just feeling the way of thinking, the way of culture, that you can understand their point of view of why they acted as they acted.
Yeah.
Is it good English?
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, why they acted the way they did. Is basically what you said. And I think that's why I like to travel the most, because I get to meet people from the area, learn their history, get their perspective.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. So I like sights. I love to see the different things, obviously, but meeting the people is the most fun.
Was it the first time that you came to Europe?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I went to the UK for the first time last summer, so that was really fun. But I've mostly just traveled through the United States. This is my first time like leaving that, which has been pretty cool. So anyway, it's good stuff. I definitely want to come back, but less amount of countries.
Yeah.
So I can really like delve in.
Yeah, and I think like I think you avoided the South country because it's really hard right now to travel through Spain, through Portugal, through Greece.
I didn't do it because of the heat.
Yeah.
I did it more as like, I guess as a solo traveler who only really had a month. I wanted to go to places where I knew, as my first like big trip, where I knew I'd be really safe.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Spain and Portugal are not, but that's also some place that I would like to go with someone as well. Have someone with me, whether that's a boyfriend someday or a best friend, and experience that. Make that its own trip. Spain, Portugal, and Morocco.
Yeah.
And do that.
Okay.
So yeah, just a different thought.
But like, so is it the first time that you travel alone or no?
I traveled in England and Scotland last year on my own for the first time. So this is my second trip doing solo.
Okay.
And I specifically went out of my way as to like go to like countries I knew I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like the more time I spent thinking about it, I think the more time I prefer to travel alone and meet people doing traveling, because like you have no obligation. No, it's not a good word, like obligation.
No, you're right. Obligation to
the
person
other
you're.
person, and it's more easier to convince yourself, if I can say.
Yeah. Yeah.
of your trip.
To plan it and things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And if something wrong happens, it's just like, okay, it's just your own person who has to manage it, and you don't know always the other person how they're gonna react to
stress.
To the unexpected, if I can say.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
And I do like traveling alone, but I also love traveling with people. Though that part you were saying does stink very much. So I don't know. I've learned a lot. A lot of good experiences.
But I don't know. Like I think so I've stayed a lot of time in China.
Okay. Never been to China. So never been to China. Done like a checklist I
Yeah.
need to do.
We're gonna talk about the checklist also.
Okay.
I spent 1 year and a half there, and I did the progression from going there in a program in.
So you studied there?
Yeah, in an exchange. So the first trip I did was with the school, and then the second trip I did with only friends, not the teacher and the organization all playing.
Okay.
And then a trip with just one other person, and it wasn't experimented. Wasn't used to do a lot of trips.
Okay, that friend that you were with, not used to traveling.
Not used to traveling alone.
Okay.
As well. And then after that, so it was kind of progression of we really helped organize the trip.
Okay.
Really solo trip, doing everything solo, and I think. I don't know. I think it's been a long time ago since I haven't traveled with someone else, so I don't remember yet how it feels. But for the moment, it's just like me wandering around.
Wandering, yep, that's right.
Wandering around in different places.
Yeah.
Checklist.
Okay, more specific. Checklist of what?
City or country that you wanted to visit. Yes, you want to visit.
I mean, so like I told you, I traveled through the United States.
Yeah.
Right? There are 50 states. I've been to 42 of them. Okay. So I've traveled a lot in the United States.
Okay.
And when I was traveling, I met an older couple.
Okay.
They were both teachers, retired, and they'd been to every continent in the world, every country, and like they inspired me. So obviously there are things I really want to see, but a checklist for me is more that I want to be like them and go everywhere I can.
Okay.
So try and see everything. So every country is a checklist, basically. That might sound bad, but
No. So the world is
the world is my checklist.
Okay. So if you had to do a top 10 of
Countries?
Yeah.
I want to see South Korea.
Yeah.
Very much. And
Spicy
then
food there. Be careful.
okay. Well, I like.
Really spicy food.
Is it worse than Indian curry and stuff?
Indian Korean?
But Indian food. Indian food is very spicy. Yes. Indian food is very spicy.
Okay.
Maybe it's different here. Like tandoori and stuff.
Chinese food in the Sichuan province is really spicy. Like the Sichuan province in China is the most spiciest food in all China.
Okay, I will not go there.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
But like so Korean food is usually spicy.
I didn't know that.
So be careful.
Okay, well, spicy like hot spicy or spicy like flavor?
Spicy, uncomfortable in your mouth.
Okay, cool. Good to know. So yeah, I'll just ask for mild. Well, I have a Korean friend who she can probably show me around and help me avoid those potholes because I'm not a spicy person. So South Korea, I've already been to Japan. That was a checklist, very much so. So, I don't know. Like the countries we talked about, I really want to see Spain, Portugal. I want to see Spain and Portugal. Oh, South Korea. Yeah, you're right. And then I want to see Poland.
I think the country that you already did, you can count it in a checklist. Like, I think if Japan was in the checklist.
But I did that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it because that was a checklist. It's still a checklist to go back. So yeah, Japan. Okay. I want to see more of it. I really want to go to Russia.
Yeah.
Like it's fascinating. I don't really know much about it, but what I do know, it really interests me, and so I want to see more of it. And then like parts of South America, like Brazil, Ecuador, Chile, those places. I want to go to Canada.
You haven't been to Canada?
I haven't been to Canada.
Okay.
It's like it's kind of far from where I live, right?
Okay.
Not as far as here, obviously, and it's really big. I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii either, so those are goals.
One last.
What's a checklist for you that you think I should see? I mean, obviously China's.
Colombia.
Colombia?
Yeah.
Okay, Colombia. There
Colombia,
it is.
because like I think now Colombia, since Pedro Escobar died,
Okay.
the government made a deal with the drug cartel
Yeah.
in the country that they wanted to change the image of Colombia and develop the sustainable traveling, sustainable tourism.
Yeah.
Tourism there. So that's why now they are developing it, and they developed more and more trip, trek, journey, visit,
Yep.
culture, food. They are developing it, so it's
Okay.
not yet full of tourists, but it's
getting.
currently amazing to visit.
All right.
Because like everything is raw in terms of vegetation, jungle, and mountains. Like apparently you have beautiful, exceptional point of view there. I guess. Surrounding.
Yeah, just views, beautiful views, beautiful sights. Yeah. You're the second person to recommend Colombia to me today.
Really?
Yeah. So
But maybe
now I
it's
have to go.
maybe it's a thing in France that we.
Well, he was
see
an American.
more- Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was from Oakland, California.
Okay.
So, whatever. Okay, cool. Well, now that's on my things to see soon.
10 things.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump on what you said about Russia. Like, so you want to visit Russia because of the history that happened during the Cold War, right? Or
No, not really. It's more, okay. There's a couple things. One, USSR is, not USSR, Soviet Union, very
Yeah.
interesting. United States, yeah, USSR.
URSS.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's in France, in French, it's URSS.
Okay.
URSS.
Okay, I think in the States it's USSR,
Okay.
United Socialist State of Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fascinating history. And then you have obviously world wars and stuff. But like if you go even farther back, you have like the overruling of the Tsar, and then you have the history with just having a monarchy and their development. So I don't really know much, but what I do know like makes me more interested to learn about it. And I'm not the kind of person who's gonna sit down and read a book about it.
Yeah.
I'd rather go experience, see something interesting, pull it up on my phone, read about it, move on. That's more where what I enjoy to do.
Is there a lot of cliche or cliche is a good word for what American thinks about Russian people?
Oh, there totally is.
Yeah, so that's why I was interested in that question. Like, so I think you still have a lot of cliche or view of Russian culture, but you are more and more. So what
Of
do you
what
know?
culture?
Yeah, of the Russian culture. So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
do you
yeah.
know about Russian culture? And what people in USA think they know about Russian culture?
So if I'm talking about like the base populace,
Yeah.
the uneducated about Russia deal, then you have like Anastasia, the movie, right?
The cartoon.
The cartoon, yes, and the musical. It's not a musical.
I know that in French, but okay.
Well, it's a beautiful musical, amazing movie.
Yeah.
And so that's like a lot of what America knows about Russia. And then you have different parts of the United States where there's a lot of Russian immigrants. And they're not looked upon very well.
They are not? What?
Not looked upon very well.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if I want to say this on here, but like, you can delete it. But like, a lot of people, especially like say African Americans or things like that, think the Russians are very racist.
Yeah.
But then you also have this side like where they have so much culture and it's beautiful and like there's, I mean, I know a couple things about like where that is, but then you also have, this is so hard. So I would say the base population knows Anastasia. That's it. And Cold War.
Yeah.
Okay? So basically they're communist and everyone's scared of communism, so they're the worst. Okay? And then after communism ended in Russia, people are kind of just like, meh, it's just, they really know history now. If you're a music student like me, we know about like Tchaikovsky and other Russian composers, their ballets and stuff. Yeah, no. Different sects know different things. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it's just
thinking
my
about
question. Like, so I thought, so they don't ask. So the Americans who has this view of the Russian don't ask themselves the question like, okay, maybe the Russian who came to to USA are not communists because they flee the communist regime there, and they wanted to have
capitalism. Capitalism.
Wow,
It's okay. French is hard too. Cap. La.
Capillatism.
Yep.
Capillatism. Damn.
It's a good word, right? That's true, but then they'll go, and at least in some communities I've been to, like I said, I've traveled a lot in the United States. There's specifically one community that comes to mind where the Russian, like a lot of Russian people have immigrated, but they're from different parts of Russia.
Yep.
So then they create almost their like own gangs. So they're in the same community, but they're divided.
Yeah.
And they fight and they cause crime and all this kind of stuff. So how can someone be compassionate to a people group that's causing bad things to happen?
Yeah,
in the
but I mean,
community?
it's not all the Russians who are criminal. Like
No,
you
of
have
course not.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not trying to generalize a people group. I'm just saying this one community that I've experienced where there are Russian immigrants. That's what they see. So that's what people might see from that as well. But again, most people don't know a lot about Russia. They know about the Cold War. They know about their history in World War II, ally. They know, and then they know about the Cold War. They know about communism.
Yeah.
And they know about the end of communism, like with the destruction of the Berlin Wall.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay.
And Anastasia. So,
but the thing to take in mind when you think about like crime in group, like you have crime organized in every culture. Like you have Americans who are criminals, you have Asian who are criminals, you have Russian who are criminals. So it's useless to just say, okay, they are Russian, they are obviously criminals. You have Americans who are criminals. Like it exists in everywhere. You have good people in every culture. You have bad people in every culture, and that's it. You just have to be careful, not about everyone, but just like it's at the same time security issue and also luck issue. That's just it.
Yeah, I mean, I think more, like you said, luck, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's luck. I think it's being aware
Also,
your... I mean, obviously, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, sucks for you.
Yes.
But generally, you should... If you're not a tourist and you don't know the area, and you know the area, then you should know what places are the best, or like, you shouldn't be at certain times and things like that. So that's just part of being aware and being smart. But you're right. You can't generalize people group. You can't do any of those kinds of things. There are criminals in every place because everyone can choose to do wrong. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Talking about Tokyo, because we talk about Tokyo.
Okay.
Is
What about
there
Tokyo?
is there still what's the word in English? Anger about what happened with
Pearl Harbor?
Say it again.
Pearl
Harbor.
Harbor.
Pearl Harbor.
No. I think maybe in the older generation, but most of them are dead. So
When did it happen?
Pearl Harbor happened during World War II.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So 1941, because that's when America stepped in.
Okay.
So there's still people around, but I don't think people are angry. I feel like with the older generations, there's still some racism that's, at least in the United States, unintentional racism.
Yeah.
Like certain words like Japs. Like that's Japs, Japs.
What is that?
It's the shortening of Japanese.
Yeah.
And so it's a term that people would call them those like during the war, and you would think that that's not, like you're just shortening the name, but in the USA that's like
Negative.
yeah, it's almost like saying the N-word about, I can't say it about black people.
I just found out, like, I had this conversation with an American the other day, and we were talking about, like, cursed in different language. So there was a French girl, a Chinese girl, me, and this American guy. And we were talking about, like, the Chinese girl was asking what's the worst curse in English that could possibly come to his mind. And he said a different word. And I said, oh, maybe the N-word. And he said, how do you dare say that?
Yeah, it's not, like, for some reason, and I hate this a bit, in the black culture, it's, like, fine to say that word.
Between them.
Yes, but if you, as a white person, say it, it's like you're going to get beat up.
Yeah.
And as someone who, like, knows history of it, like, that was a horrible word. It was normal, but that was a horrible word to say about a black person.
Yeah.
And now it's something that they
empower themselves with this word.
Yeah, which, you know, as a culture, like, do it, but, like, the connotation, the history behind it, I just don't think it's an appropriate word for anyone to say. For me personally. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, N-word's not fun. C-word's not fun either.
Is it a negative word to use, like, black person saying that?
No, it's like a term of friendship.
Okay. Because in France, it can be tricky and negative in terms of way. If you say these black people in France, it would be like not extreme, but almost in the edge of dependence. It's edgy.
Edgy?
Edgy.
I guess that works.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with friends at home, and who are black, and they said that they actually prefer to be called black in the States, because I grew up saying African American, but not all of them are African, right? And not all of them are American. You're just generalizing based off their skin color, so they'd rather just be called, or at least these girls that I've talked to, rather just be called black. So that's interesting that here, like, that's what's offensive. You know?
But I think it's the same thing that's happening with N-word in France. So they empower.
Impose?
Empower.
You're good. No, you're fine. I'm impressed with your English. So I mean, so do keep doing it. You're fine.
They empower themselves with the black, noir.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. We're not in America.
Noir.
Okay.
Noir.
Interesting.
Black.
Yeah.
So they empower themselves, and I think they also use the N-word also.
It's, I mean, because it's in music.
And it's international.
Yeah, it's, I mean, a lot of European countries listen to American or US music, and it's like full of it, especially rap. Hello, friend. So yeah. Tom, right?
Tony, dang
it. John, Tony.
Nice to meet you.
So we're having a good conversation about the States.
A big thanks to Rebecca, who has accepted to talk with me during this episode. Thank you for listening to it, and don't forget to listen to the second part of this episode next week in the Random Conversation number 3. As well, you can find other episodes of Let's Talk Venture on YouTube, Apple Podcast, PodCloud, and the Internet Archive. You can follow my adventure on Instagram, all the link will be in the descriptions. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and 5 stars, and I'll see you next Monday.